Hello and welcome back to Bite Size Security, guys. My name is Jimmy and today I'm bringing you another hacking video as usual. Today we are covering another Proving Grounds machine, which is Algernon. That's the one, the Windows box here. And yeah, you know the drill. Algernon, Astronaut, Oathbee, Blackgate, and so on and so forth. By the way, Craft 2, there's a Craft 1. I will be doing that one too. Just because. But anyway, let's first go into Algernon. I see here it is an easy machine, so it might be quite quick. So let's get that done. With that being said, I've got the results run already because it's Windows, but from now on, like I said in a few previous videos, as soon as it's Windows, I'll run the recon already and just have it ready, because it takes time. It takes a lot of time sometimes. And so let's just get into that. Yeah, I've got the folder here ready already. I've got the notes here, and we can just start copying that over right away. Actually, I still have to create the folder inside of Obsidian. Is that the name? Algernon. Yes, let's do it. It should now be here. And we can get right into that. Before we do, we also run scan, rust scan, like this. And while that's going, let's get straight into it. MSRPC, let's copy that. Let's go into external and create a few more ones. SSH we don't need. Let's get to it. MSRPC 135. RPC like this, and then we've got SMB here. Then we've got, what is this? 1701. Let's go into the quick scan here and see what we have there. Yeah, let's keep that there too, like this. Net remoting services, like that. Then port 21 FTP. And I can see we can do anonymous login. Interesting. Let's copy a few more here, just because we're gonna need them. Like that. And then Samba. Like that. And then all of the MSRPCs, this one and this one is the last one. Take their port numbers, MSRPC, and then copy all the ones in between. That, like that, and like that. That was quick. Let's collapse them all, and then let's do 5040. What is that? Yeah, just because we did it before, let's do it here as well, although it is unknown. And then port 80 and map. Let's copy that, because I think, yes, this one was also one. There you go. And map, and then this one also. Although this one is not port 80, but 9998. That was rather fast. Let's get on with enumerating. Delete, delete. Actually, we can do this like that. Okay, so let's bring this down and start the enumeration at port 21 FTP. So we're gonna do enumeration here. And as with almost every video, there's a few changes coming, which build up on what I said in my last video, which was access. I'm starting to really figure out the strengths of Obsidian, and the only thing I now need to figure out is how to use my Obsidian notes to generate a report right away, and it will be really, really, really powerful. But I'll explain that in a second. So FTP, let's take the IP one more time, like that, and connect to it. Anonymous, pass. Okay, so we are allowed to do anonymous login. Anonymous login successful. And so when I have FTP anonymous login, I like to do the following. Let me go into my notes. And so we have created FTP content, and here I do this. I download everything from that FTP server inside of FTP content, like so. It will then download everything. Of course, again, evasiveness is not this, but I don't care. I mean, I can. It's a hack the box or proving grounds box. If it was red teaming or if I was being tested for evasiveness, then of course I wouldn't do that. But this is a CTF, and so I do this. We can now go inside of the FTP content folder and see what we have. So let's download everything. And we do that using this command. And the output is somewhat, yeah, no, I don't really. The output is somewhat like this. And we can now go into the notes and see what we have. So we've got 4 folders. Let's see. Listing. We've got a lot of logs. We've got some sort of administrative log. Okay, let's keep that. We have a list of logs, one of which is an administrative log with the following content. Like that. What else do we have? Can I not go down here with the arrows? Oh, I can. Oh, no. I'm looking for anything interesting. Oh, let's also not forget to complete our recon. I could have done that right away. I forgot. I'm sorry. Let's go to results really quick. Sorry about that, guys. I got ahead of myself. Let's take the quick scan, put it there. Let's take the full scan, put it here, and let's take the UDP scan and put it there. So that being done, let's go back to this log. Okay, so the log folder is not very interesting, and here either, nothing very interesting, but there is an admin. Let me try and connect to this admin. Cannot log in. Okay, so we could now brute force this admin. Let's just do that and let it run, and then continue with HTTP. So we can go into AutoRecon. AutoRecon has this manual command here, and it tells you run this command manually, of course. And so I can just paste this, and instead of $L, I will just say admin, because I do know there is an admin, and I'll just run it with this guy, and it will then, proving perm to give myself permissions, and run that again. There you go. And while that's going, I will just, okay, that's done already. That was very, very fast. We have tried. Should I do it with the command that it tells me here? Because the admin is probably in there. We can also try brute forcing the FTP server for other users. There you go. No, that doesn't seem correct. Let's just drop that. Let's go to port 80 and run Firefox and burp, just to be sure. What is this? Like that. All right, on port 80, we don't have anything. So for port 80, let's go and take over everything though. We've got the screenshots, and here, of course, we won't have much, but still, we want to be thorough. Nikto. And nmap we have, and what web. Will we do deal search? We don't really need to. There's nothing here. And while we're at it, let's also do 998, because it's also HTML. Okay. That doesn't look too good either. 998. Same thing. Same. Oh, no. We got too ahead of ourselves. We've got smarter mail. Okay, great. So let's put that screenshot here, and then Go Buster. Ooh, wow. Okay, we've got a lot. Why is it? Is there a quotation mark at the very end? No, there shouldn't be. What the? No. Okay. No. I'm not taking this. This time to March output. Something here is wrong, and I will run dir search. So I'll do dir search and then -u HTTP. Take the IP like this, and then 9998, and I'll do w opt seclist discovery web content directory, and it's Windows. So let's start with small, lowercase small, and then extensions. I'll do PHP, HTML, HTM, ASP, ASPX, and I'll save this to, as usual. Oh, I'm still inside of the FTP content. So let's go to results, scans, 9. And let's call it GoBuster. No, let's call it dir search. Directories. And then below I'll also, let's see if this one also gives me 1,000. Let's call this one files. Drafts, we'll say small, files lowercase. Like this. These two are running. I can already see it finds a few things. Let's go to the next page, and what else could we do? Oh, we have what web. And Nikto. Is that it? Okay, so let's now go with enumeration. I've got burp running. Everything is routing through there. And so let's see. What do we have? So first we've got smarter mail. So let's right away check what smarter mail is. Is there a link? Smarter tools. Let's try our email address. Testing at test.com. Password. See what we get. The domain was not found. Double check your email address. Let's just take this. Put it here. Landing page is a login portal for which we do not have credentials. Okay, we're gonna have to make use of the outputs by dir search. Okay, of course here it's finding a lot of files. Error, error, error. This seems like a whole lot of nothing. Task completed, yes. And then here, scripts. Whole lot of nothing as well. Let's go with interface. Okay, it seems that we are kind of stuck on the smarter mail as well. Let's do just one foff -h host. Oh, we don't really have DNS. Yeah, no. I wanted to do vhost scan, but let's just continue for now. What else do we have? We have port 139 SMB. Let's go here and copy what else we have on SMB. And see, copy this. Yeah, we don't even have a domain or DNS or anything like that, so. And we cannot connect to SMB client. Okay, what else? 21 we checked. Samba, nothing really. MSRPC, nothing. Port 80, nothing. Here, well, we said nothing. What's this 1701 ports? That's cats. 1701, was it that? Okay, so we have something there. Ooh, baby. Let's do that and not say hello. Okay, let's go Google and say port 1701. Am I dreaming? Of course, that is something I should have done. And that is look for smarter mail. Search exploits smarter mail. What do we have here? Looking for an exploit. We have arbitrary file upload, remote code execution. Do we know if we have that build? How can I find out? How can I find out? Let's go on this. Okay, this is just the exploit. Should we go for Hail Mary and just try it? Okay, let's just try it. Okay, so let's do this like this. and then take a screenshot. Let's try exploit the remote code execution. Of course, I'm not sure if there is information somewhere that tells me. Let me look at the page source. Oh, never just run an exploit. But we've got the product build here. Okay, so if I had taken a minute to look at the curl, what do I learn from this? Wait, is this the curl? One sec. So curl HTTP this, and then 9998. It moved. That's what it said. Move to interface root. Okay. Okay, let me just go on commands log and then curl, and then look for this one. Interface, oh no. Interface roots, and I will save that into, still in the FTP, results, scans, and call this one curl, but interface roots. There you go. And now here I will have a nice curl of the correct page. And if I had then taken a look at that, which I didn't because I didn't have it here, and the target had moved, and really, like I've said in a previous video, if I see that something has moved, I should immediately investigate. But in here, like I can see now in the website a bit cleaner, we have a build version. Product builds. Let's take a screenshot of this. But what do we learn from this? We learn to never execute an exploit just on a target, to do a Hail Mary like I was about to do, and to further investigate, enumerate, and see if we can get a build version. And here we get a build version which matches the potential exploit we could have launched against this here. So we didn't want to just run that exploit, and went on to search for more information on the system running ports 1701, and we found the following build version. And that is 6919 for Smarter. We can thus exploit that remote code execution. We can therefore go ahead and try that exploit. And I want to do something here. Here, add link, and then I'll say this delimiter. And here I can now say Algernon exploit. And from now on, if I then go here exploit, it will just bring me to exploit here. And this is amazing because I can then have a story within my notes of continuously linking to where I'm going next, and just go to the bottom of the page, press that link, it will go to the next. And so you have to imagine, if I am putting a lot of notes into this Obsidian, 5 months later, it might be hard to follow, because I might have enumeration, then internal enumeration again, and then enumeration again. Like, I don't know, it's a circular motion, and you constantly have to do enumeration again. But if I keep linking between what the next point is, then it creates a linear story, and that's just nicer. So I know that I did enumeration, external enumeration. I get to port 1701 after having gone through all of the others, and then with that knowledge that I enumerate here, I can now find out that I have an exploit, press exploit, and then I'll do that exploitation here. So search exploit smarter mail, and then let's go to Algernon, and let's go to exploit. Like that. We want this remote code execution. Search exploits -m, like this. And then let's look at it really quick. Let's collapse all of this. Exploit here. What does it do? Okay, so it exploits. Let me put the IP in there. Creates a reverse shell to our host. Our host here on port 444, and essentially, what is this payload? Like this. Let's go into burp decoder, decode as base 64. Yeah, I tried. I don't understand it. But if it's there, let's go and exploit DB. Smarter mail exploit. We've got this. The GitHub ones are very nice. I always like the GitHub ones. They often just work. But exploit DB, of course, is offsec, and yeah, I'm sure this one works great. But I'm gonna try the exploit DB one first. Okay, so let's just try. I'm making the video longer for nothing here. Oh shit! Listen on port 444. I don't think. So here it creates a reverse shell. Nah. Let's not use that one. I don't really like the exploit DB ones. They don't really work most of the time. A remote code execution in .NET deserialization for smarter mail system. See, now that looks a lot nicer. Let's take this one. Clone. I need some water. before we exploit this. And let's inspect this one. Oh, it's exactly the same code. That's funny. That is indeed very funny. Super user. Do I not have permissions on Algernon moving perm? Is that why it didn't work? Okay. So let's exploit CVE. Oh, there you go. Holy. Okay. Easy indeed. Wow. That was easy indeed. We are roots. So we're done. So that exploit worked. I wonder why the other one didn't work. Like this, and we are root. Wow, that's crazy. This was indeed a very easy machine. Let's go to CD users administrator desktop. I'm guessing this box would have taken or could have taken a much shorter amount of time if I didn't explain everything, if I just did it for myself. But you got the thought process, and that's what matters. So let's go here. We've got the flag. And this was actually a nice learning experience, because what did we learn? We learned to, first of all, never just Hail Mary an exploit like I was this close to doing, and try and enumerate as much as possible. Although it seemed like we didn't have all the information, we did have it in the source code. And yeah, just get used to doing that. And through this, we were then able to find an exploit, and that exploit worked like a charm, and we got a reverse shell. Quite an easy box. Yeah, that's it. Might record another one today. But anyway, this has been Algernon. Very easy. And please like, subscribe if you learned something. Share the video, of course. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.